Now fix this process returns function. I'm going to add an interface called returnable, and this interface will define the function process return. Or anything that is returnable should implement this function. So should give the body for this function. So if you notice here, my function doesn't have a body, doesn't have an implementation. So I'm going to go back to my TV, and my TV is already a physical product. So all I have to do is make this a returnable as well. So returnable. And so there is immediately you see that an error has been displayed and it says class TV is not abstract. You are now forcing your returnable to give the implementation for the process return function. So I just have to implement it, and here I can give the implementation. Going back to our process returns function now. Now we had all these gigantic if else. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to comment this, and this will be a list of returnables. So now I know that my item is a returnable. So we have now replaced this gigantic if else with a single with just a simple function where we loop through these list of returnables. And if you see in this line, we are able to call the process return function on the item. When you say a list of returnable, then every class that implemented the returnable interface will surely have the process return function. So that is what the interfaces guarantee. So you're able to definitely say that an item inside items will have the process return function. So you're able to call this process return function and you're able to print the result. So clearly, we don't care if this item is a book or a TV or something else. Whereas here, if you see in this old way of doing it, we had to check every time if it was a book or a TV or a digital product, and we had to do this for all the items. We had to do it for hundreds of items. But here, we don't have that problem here. We don't check at all if what that item is. We don't care what the item is. We know that it is going to have this process return function, and all we have to do is call that function because we know that we are dealing with a list of returnable objects. So this is what we call as a polymorphism. So going back to the main function, if I want to process the returns, all I have to do is call process returns. and I can create a list of, and I can send a book and TV to this, and let's see the output is. So book.display.info, it says start return processing. So this is where it enters this process return function, and it says process return for book, and then it says process return for TV, and return processing complete. So you see that I'm sending a list of a book and a TV into this, and it is able to call the process return functions for book and TV. So Kotlin knows that what we are sending here is a returnable, but Kotlin knows that it is also a book. So it will call the correct process return function for the book. So it will call the implementation for the book and the TV. So this is where the polymorphism comes into picture. So let's try to add this subscription plan to our list. So let's add this plan, and you see that it is throwing an error saying that the actual type is list of product, but list of returnable was expected. So that means, so clearly you can see that the process return function is expecting a list of returnables. If you add something, if you add an object which is not implementing the returnable interface, then you will get an error. So you can be sure that the process returns function will have all the returnables, and you will be able to call this process return function. So now you don't need this hundreds of lines of if else statements. So you are able to use interfaces to define behavior.